Well, Stephanie Cairns, what an appropriate name, Stephanie Cairns, and here we are in Cairns, okay, and Kim Goulter, no relationship to Australia whatsoever, the name Goulter or Kim, but that's okay, we'll call you Kim Townsville. So Stephanie Cairns and Kim Townsville, that's okay, isn't it?
Now,
it's good though, isn't it? Yeah, well, it makes sense because the two of you work together very often. You've got Cairns as a name, but you work in Townsville, and you've got Goulter. Is that a Germanic name or?
No, English.
English, there you go. And so we're going to call you Kim Townsville. So, Stephanie, your manager communications and executive tourism and events. Kim, your manager for Townsville, North Queensland. But you both work for Townsville Enterprise, is that right?
Exactly, yeah. Kim works for Tourism and Events Queensland as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, highly dynamic location, traditionally an army town, okay? A lot of people don't think of Townsville in terms of a tourism destination, but I know that you girls are going to tell me all about it. So, fire away.
Absolutely. A lot of people do know us for our military history there, and that's rightly so. We have the largest military base in Australia, of all of Australia, based in Townsville. But what they don't realise is that it is a thriving destination for tourism with plenty to do as well. Yeah. So most recently we've launched 16 different educational study tours. So leveraging off the landscapes that we've got in our different area as well. So not many places have two different World Heritage listed areas right on their doorstep.
So which are the two?
We do. We've got the Great Barrier Reef and the wet tropics as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said educational programs?
We did, yeah. So
tell me more about those.
Well, the different landscapes that we've got mean that we have access to different Australian experiences. So outback, the wetlands, the rainforests, the islands of the Great Barrier Reef, and Townsville as a metropolitan city as well. And the people that come to study those different areas base themselves in Townsville now as well. So it gives us an opportunity to be able to tap into those resources and those different landscapes and teach the world about them through study tours. We're finding that that's very popular, particularly with American universities coming through at the moment, but we want to tell more of the world about them too.
Isn't that great though in terms of finding a niche market though?
Absolutely.
You know, because there's so many people doing mainstream stuff, right? And that's fine, and you can go into mainstream, but you'd be competing with all these other people. So all of a sudden you've gone into a niche space. So how successful has all that been?
We've been doing it for 3 years now. Yeah. We've got the AUIP groups at home right now at the moment. They're doing tours through our area and just north of us too. So it's still early, but we're getting a lot of groups come through, which is very rewarding for those tourism operators that are a part of it.
Okay, well excellent. Well, what would a tourist coming to Townsville expect to experience?
What would they expect to experience, or what will they experience? They're two very different things, because we are an unknown destination when it comes to the international market. But what they will experience when they come to our destination is wildlife and nature, a metropolitan city, which is a lot bigger than what most people perceive it to be. Magnetic Island is one of our heroes as well. It's only a 20-minute trip from Townsville by Fastcat with Sealink, who are here as well. And it's got Australia's largest population of koalas in the wild. So they're very easy to spot, and I recommend going for a walk early in the morning when they're still moving around. It makes it a little bit easier to spot their hairy bums walking.
I was talking to somebody this morning about koalas, and they were saying that, you know, koalas in Australia, very sadly, are in serious decline. So what you're saying to me, in Townsville, they're not?
No. We've got a really healthy population on Magnetic Island, and they're disease-free, which is why they're so sustainable.
Yes, of course. Now, Stephanie, Kim, now you also work for Tourism and Events Queensland as well, okay? So it's a sort of joint project. How does that fit into the work that you're doing specifically for Townsville?
So I'm really lucky in that I work for Tourism and Events Queensland, but it's a joint role with Townsville Enterprise Limited. So I'm the representative for Townsville in the Brisbane office. So I get to work across all the different departments in Tourism and Events Queensland and with the guys up in Townsville across a number of different projects, just to make sure that everyone knows what there is to see and do in Townsville, and that we've got good representation.
Okay. So in terms of the sort of things you do, actually tactically do, have you got any exciting things happening in terms of the events and marketing space?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a really exciting project that we're working on at the moment for Townsville and Queensland. We're redeveloping our brand positioning, so we'll be launching that in June with a domestic campaign. So we're really redefining what the consumer thinks of Townsville and Queensland, and just really raising the awareness of what there is to see and do in Townsville. So that's coming out in June, which is really exciting.
Brilliant. Now, if I was going to Townsville, right, okay, what would you tell me I have to do between the two of you?
When you first arrive, probably need to learn about the Great Barrier Reef, seeing we're based right there in the middle of it. Go and check out Reef HQ Aquarium. It's in the centre of the city as well, so you can experience the Great Barrier Reef without getting your feet wet. The reef there, it's actually a living coral reef, so unlike a lot of aquariums around the world, everything you see in there is living and breathing. And what's really interesting is that everything that happens on the GBR out in the ocean happens at the same time in the aquarium there. So when the Great Barrier Reef spawns out in the ocean, the Coral Reef Aquarium, the bommy in there, also spawns.
So you're serious? You're telling me that even though the coral is in an aquarium, okay, and everything that happens, so how are they connected? I mean, is it like some sort of mental connection, or is it just, have you connected them through the internet or something, or, how does it work?
They're the same thing. So the aquarium bommy reacts to the same natural
and you create the same stimulus as well, I'd imagine, within the aquarium.
Yeah, well, it's an open air aquarium, so inside is obviously enclosed, but the tanks themselves are open to the elements.
Is that amazing?
The only thing that's replicated is the wave motion. Obviously, we don't have a tide in a tank, so they replicate that with a machine that has the tide going through.
So that's one thing. Now then,
Kimberly, what's your next thing for me to do in Townsville?
I think you can't come to the Townsville, North Queensland region without going to Magnetic Island.
Magnetic Island?
Yeah, it's only 8 kilometres off the coast of Townsville, so a 20-minute ferry ride, and it's just spectacular. And it's different to other Great Barrier Reef islands in that there's about 2,000 people that are residents on the island. It's an Australian bush island, so very much different to any other tropical island in the Great Barrier Reef, with all the amenities and facilities of what you'd expect to find in Townsville. So easy to get there, easy access. So there's public transport, you can hire cars. There's 23 bays and beaches, and they're all connected through 25 kilometres of walking trails.
I want to go there.
You should.
I want to go. Hold on. I've been to Townsville a few times. What impressed me was, is it the Esplanade, is it? Or there's the Strand? I thought that was really cool. And some really great pubs, I thought, as well. And I walked into one pub and started talking to these local guys, and it was as if I've always known them. It was really quite surreal. And I was beginning to think, maybe they're going to mug me or something. But no, they weren't. Don't misunderstand me for a minute. We had a great evening, We even all sat down, had dinner together and all this sort of stuff. So just in terms of quality of accommodation, what sort of range of accommodation have you got?
Ranging right through from backpack or a budget accommodation up to 5-star properties with Jupiter's Casino as well. So all of your major brands that you'd expect across the globe are in Townsville. There's 2 Oaks properties, there's 2 Accor properties, there's Peppers, there's the Grand Hotel, there's Ibis, Holiday Inn, all of the global brands are there, as well as a lot of the boutique ones as well, like Classic Bed and Breakfast if you want to stay in a Queenslander.
Yeah. Now, where can people find out more information about Townsville?
Go and visit our website if you'd like to. It's townsvillenorthqueensland.com.au. It was launched just this year. It's a new website, so we'd love your feedback as well if you want to have a look at it and tell us how.
Well, it seems to me that Townsville has sort of come to maturity in a sense, because I've been there once, but it seems to me you've got all the hotels, you've got the product, you've got the things to do, and yet up until now you've not been on the tourism trail in a sense. So if anybody from overseas or Australia is coming to Queensland, they're doing the Gold Coast, Brisbane, they're looking at Noosa maybe, Mooloolaba, Maroochydore, where next? Well, as they head north, Townsville seems to be the place to go as they head towards Cairns. Is that partly one of the objectives for you guys?
Absolutely. We just want people to come and experience the destination, because we find that once they've been there once, they want to stay longer, they want to tell their family and friends about it, and that's how we get our visitation.
Well, without any question, you guys are absolutely fantastic ambassadors. You're nice, happy, smiling people. So if you guys are anything to judge Townsville by, congratulations, and thousands of people will be going there, and I look forward to going there myself as well. So thank you for your time today. Oh, quick one. Did you give me the URL? Remind me again. What's the website?
townsvillenorthqueensland.com.au.
townsvillenorthqueensland.com.au. Thank you.
Thanks, John.